Well, this doesn't look promising at all in its current state. Engine sounds pretty happy. Welcome back to part 2 of our Tennessee-Atlanta journey. So in the last episode, we delivered the 540, surprised Alex with it. I decided to make that its own episode, and then I wanted to pick all this up in part 2 because that was just a special enough moment, so I wanted it to be on its own. But right now, we are going to jump back into the trek from Nashville to Atlanta to pick up this and see the other car. So we will go find out what it is that I picked up here. Well, this doesn't look promising at all in its current state. Flat tires are a nice touch, but can you see that? That ain't no M20. I wish the hood would have been on it, but yeah, we'll figure that out. Look at this nightmare that I've invited myself to. So you guys know what this is. This is a S38 B36, and this is obviously an E30 coupe. So this is gonna be quite the project. The engine's already in, but we're gonna have to figure out just about everything else on this car. So this is gonna be a lot of fun. This is just a first look, then we gotta load this up. I don't know where anyone is or anything. All right, so paperwork's done. We're putting air in the tires. So what I didn't realize is this is quite literally just laying on its oil pan in the engine bay. I thought it was bolted down at least. So we're gonna have to, I don't know, I hope I don't crack an oil pan or something stupid on the drive, but that's a little sketchy. But I mean, yeah, we'll go over, we'll do all our stuff with this car, but pretty much the body's really nice. This car has been in op, like in this guy's storage for a long time. It's got a crack-free dash, no way. I didn't even realize that. That's very good. 163,000 miles, no cracks in the dash is insane. We got our plenum, interior's pretty clean. There's the rest of the interior. Let me see if the trans is actually in this car because that's supposed to be the M5 trans. What's going on here? Oh yeah, all right, so it does have the M5 trans. Was there a drive shaft for it or no? I'm hoping to get the M5 diff because that's valuable. Even though it won't fit in the car, but that's money back for the car itself. Car's actually pretty nice. The body's super clean. I mean, it's a rust-free Georgia car. That's the beauty of being in Georgia. Here's my hood, which won't clear the ITB link, which I think is just because the engine's not actually in place. I think once you mount it properly, the S38 should clear the hood because this isn't like a unprecedented swap. No headers, that's another thing I'm gonna have to ask about because I don't wanna have to supply headers, even though I actually have a set. But I think he said this car's been off the road since like 2006. So it's just been sitting inside. Inside, that's an important part because if this was outside, there'd be no paint left. So I'm excited about that. You're good, I'll steer. Perfect. These tires are screwed. This thing's gonna be a nightmare to get on the trailer. Good. Keep it going. Okay. Oh, the subframe's not even bolted up, I see. It's kind of just hanging.
Oh, I see now. This is the first time I've been able to get this far underneath it because the tires were so flat when I tried and get underneath.
Okay, let me grab I'm gonna grab a strap. Usually you'd say around a control arm would be the best. Actually, there's holes in these control arms, so there should be a hole somewhere.
The brakes look right here.
They've definitely been done. That's good, at least. Be careful though, there's strands.
Never hurt nobody.
This is that Midwest rust, man. You never seen this type of stuff. Since when is this winch such a piece of shit? There you go, come on, come on. Oh. I just bent the shit out of the tie rod. Oh, well, I forgot I had the e-brake up. I can't believe I bent the tie rod that bad. I thought they were solid. Why is it? Oh, I guess I'm stupid. And can you put the e-brake back up? I forgot that I'm steering the car by pulling the tie rod. Oopsies. I just made this that much more difficult by destroying the tie rod. That's it. We're up.
She's on there.
She's on there. Holy shit. Okay, so we got the E30 back there. We went in the shop and was able to find the headers and then a box full of some random stuff. Couldn't find the drive shaft or a diff. I mean, I don't know if the diff was even a thing, but drive shaft would have been nice, but whatever, it is what it is. Probably has to be custom in the E30 anyway, or I don't know. That might come back and bite me, but we looked where we could look, so it is what it is. E30 strapped down. That was a lot with the wheels not turning and stuff, but our first stop is done. I guess our first maybe. Now we're on our way to the E28. So here we are at stop number 2 at the body shop, and we have an E28 M5. So this car, I bought this car. How long ago did I even bring this car here? 3 months ago? 4?
4 months ago.
4 months. So I bought this car 4 months ago, sight unseen in Nashville. And David is my go-to body guy. He's worked on some cars for me. But so this car, there was 2 problems. Well, there's a couple problems, but front air dam was kind of destroyed. So he had to replace, or not replace, he had to repair and repaint the entire front spoiler. And then there was a small rust spot under, if you guys watched the B7 video I just mentioned, they get rusty right here. There was a rust patch right here. So they had to pull out the window, cut that out, and repaint this, and it's absolutely perfect. Those are my 2 concerns with this car, and then we had a bunch of PDR work done. So obviously E28 M5, 1988. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but this car, you guys can see, is obviously modified. So the most notable part of the car, and probably half the reason I bought it, is the Dine and Fix wheels. Built for the E28, so they're the correct spec for this car. 17s. These are extremely rare, and like I said, definitely a big part of why I wanted to buy this car. It's on CA tuned coilovers, and it's obviously a black on black because all E28 M5s in America are black on black. Not black on black, I'm sorry. Black on shadow line outside, and then nature or llama interior. I can't remember which it is. So here coming on the inside, this is a 158,000 mile car. I thought it was less. So it's a driver's car. It's not by any means perfect, but I did want that body work done before taking delivery of it. First, because it's as close to David's shop as it will ever be. Second, because those 2 things, you don't want rust on the body and you don't want a destroyed air dam. It just looked like junk. But coming inside, we have AC Schnitzer pedals, which is actually pretty sweet. We have a Nardi wood grain steering wheel. We have a Nardi shift knob. So these seats are a little withered. They're not horrible, but they're not bad. Back seat's pretty clean. Black M headliner. So this is interesting. The M5 has heated seats. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know M5s had heated seats. That's pretty wild. But the M5s, the M cars have the stitched, leather, extended leather on the glove and everything. Dash has a couple cracks. It's overall a nice car. I literally have not seen it yet, so this is our first time seeing it together. I obviously put the E30 on the trailer, so now this is gonna have to get picked up by a shipper. My first E28 M5. Let's see under the hood. So there we have our S38 3.5. So this car also has, I believe it's a full, it just left my mind, Super Sprint. Full Super Sprint exhaust, I think. And you can see the Kevlar wrapped headers there. Yeah, right? Yeah. Well, how do you know they're not bundled with snakes?
Because they don't look, the shape doesn't look quite right.
Oh, see, I've never seen them. I wouldn't know. David knows more than I.
Underneath all the exhaust racks.
Or maybe this isn't Super Sprint. I'm not sure.
Take a look.
I don't see any branding on it. I mean, it's definitely a aftermarket muffler.
Aftermarket one.
And it looks like a full 3-inch exhaust, huh?
Yeah.
With a V-band.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty nice exhaust.
That is a nice exhaust. That's not a super
I think it's all custom.
Yeah.
I would say it's all, maybe that's a Vibrant muffler. I don't know. You guys probably can't see it, but
yeah.
it's definitely a full custom exhaust. And I do think I remember him saying Super Sprint headers, though.
That's possible.
Yeah.
The factory one's pretty expensive.
Yeah. So, aluminum radiator. Otherwise, it looks like a pretty stock engine. It's had some maintenance done. This I'm not a fan of. Red capped coil wires, which is interesting. ITBs have been adjusted because we got the blue thingies there. No coolant in it. Pretty excited. I would like to, we should fire it up. It's dark out, so I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to drive it. BMW Motorsport embossed door handles, which is custom, but it looks really nice. These need to go. These are horrible. I hate how wide that is. Probably pull the tint off. I'm not really a fan of the tint on this car. And thanks to everyone on the B7 video that mentioned that the M5 tails are all blacked out. That I didn't realize. Car's from Texas, apparently. We got stock wheels in the trunk and some spare parts. We'll go through the whole car more in depth. Right now I'm on borrowed time here. It's way too late, but let's see if it fires up. I would like to hear this thing. Okay. So I know the shifter is very messed up. That's neutral. We gotta fix that. Let's see. Oh, that wasn't neutral. There we go. Almost made a mistake. That sounds pretty sweet. Engine sounds pretty happy. Or am I just... Or is that just the sound? No? Yeah, I'm not excited about that. But this thing actually sounds pretty sweet. I think this exhaust is a nice touch for the car. That's a happy S38. Very nice. So, stop number 2 here, and I'm glad I got to come and see it. I wish I was bringing it home with me right now. Okay, so we made it back to home base in Nashville. That was supposed to be the car coming home with me, but then obviously this E30 popped up and I had to act, because who wouldn't want a S38 E30? Although I will say, it's not, you can hardly even call this an S38 E30, because it's really not, it's kind of just laying in here. And I kind of touched on it when we were there, but I thought at least it had like motor mount arms and stuff. It is quite literally just dropped on the subframe and laying in here. There is a custom mount right here, and it looks like it'll work, but who knows? This is stuff that we'll see when we get it up on the lift or whatever. Like maybe you could see there is a mount in there, but it looks kind of horrible. And I guess it's lined up with the subframe, so I don't know, it should work. But the engine itself, I mean, super clean. You can see there's no rust on it or anything. This engine is allegedly from like a 55,000 mile E34 M5 that was a client car for the owner of the shop who owned this car. And they did a ton of work on it. They resealed it, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy unfortunately got in an accident and the car got totaled out. So the owner of the shop said, all right, well, I'll keep your engine and your trans, and I'll throw it in this E30 that I have laying here. And this E30 has been off the road since I think 2004, because it was, I don't know, it's a weird story, but apparently the title, it was a totaled out car because a truck with a, basically like a hitch, backed into the front of the car and punctured the grill, and then I guess punctured the radiator. And you know, in 2004, what was a 325i worth? 400 bucks, 500 bucks. So it wasn't, you know, you may say, oh, it was totaled, salvage, title, whatever. You know, was it wrecked? It wasn't wrecked. If you look here, all of this core support, the entire front end, never been replaced, and there's no signs of any accident. It literally went right through here. My guess is it popped the radiator, and then I bet the owner of the car drove it home and overheated it, and when the engine blew up, they said, all right, well, it's mechanically totaled. Because as far as I know, this is all original paint, and this is a totally rust-free Georgia car its whole life. And that right there is valuable in of itself, because in the Midwest, guys would kill for an E30 in this shape because we don't have them. Like if you see there, your battery tray, which would be on the other side, but either way, no rust. This is a mint car. The paint's really nice. It's covered in years and years of dust. It's got some handling marks, but body is otherwise very, very clean. This is a 325i coupe, obviously, as you can see here. So it is a nice car regardless of what's in it. And you know, again, like I said, you can't really call it a S38 swapped E30 because it's kind of just hanging out there. There's no part of the swap that's completed aside from having the parts. And the majority of the parts are between here and the trunk. I kind of showed you guys when we were there. You can see like there's our plenum, and then there's some other random engine parts on this seat. And we are back. So the E28 got dropped off by a transporter the other day. The E30 obviously came home with me on the trailer. They've both made it into the shop. What a great weekend or week that was. So I was able to get both of the cars washed and cleaned up. I got the dust off the M5. The M5 already looked pretty good as it was. It wasn't like it was filthy or anything. But I washed this. I've spent some time with it. This car definitely needs some addressing, but overall, it's got really good bones and it's a really good starting base. So I'm going to show you guys in a second what came in the trunk of this, and that is exciting. And the E30 itself, this car cleaned up really nice. So this thing was coated in about a decade plus of dust and then a bunch of road grime and salt and nastiness. So I pulled this thing out, pushed it out, and I gave it a wash. And the body on this car, just as I said, is absolutely pretty beautiful. I mean, the paint, it needs a nice clay bar decontamination and a buff and a polish, but this is a rust-free, actually pretty clean paint E30. I mean, it's not faded, the dash isn't cracked, there's no rust on the body of the car. This thing is really nice. I mean, I am really excited to start with this as a base. I fall victim to the old Midwest cars a little too much, and I've done a lot of builds based off like not that nice of cars, hence the reason why cars like the ITB E28 got parted out. And yeah, it's just because, it's hard to find good bases here, and then it really sucks when you pour your heart into a swap or a build and you're left with a car that is not presentable. What I like about this is I'll be able to dial in this engine swap, make it the badass S38 E30 I've always wanted, and then I don't have to come over here and repaint the car to make it look good. Like suspension, wheels, but no body work, no interior work, and that makes me really happy because this is a super clean car. So this thing was a score, I think, S38 or not. Just a really nice body on the car, nice paint. I didn't really get the chance to show you guys, and now it's up on the wall. I don't want to, but in the trunk here, you can see we got a slew of random parts. Exhaust heat shields, we got our front end parts, steering rack, the kidneys, S38 alternator, ECU, power steering pump. I believe, that's probably, this looks like, I don't think this is an S38 clutch. Might be, nah, that's probably M20. I don't know, that looks a little wimpy. Power steering lines and all that sort of jazz. Like, what is this? This is not S38 or M20. It says 2002 on it. This is like M52 or M54 crap. Anyway, random stuff. I'm gonna have to go through and assort everything and just really figure out what this car needs and what it doesn't. But it's here, and I'm glad that it actually cleaned up pretty nice. We gotta fix some trim, obviously, but I'm excited for this, and I'm pretty excited for this as well. These cars are the gift that keep on giving. Let's go see what came in the trunk of this E28, because it was a big factor in why I actually chose to buy this particular one. And that is this. So what you're looking at here may look like an assortment of used garbage parts, but if you know, you know. This is a Dynan, well, this is a Dynan M635, but Dynan M5 turbo kit. Yes, this is very, very cool. This is very, very rare. You can see here on the manifold, Dynan M635, but then it also says RUSA. So what the hell, how does that make any sense, seeing as an M635 was only a Euro car? Who knows? We got the Dynan Turbotronics 2 piggyback, if you will. We got the Porsche Turbo Airbox. We have a Garrett Turbo, which is AR.60. Kind of a small turbo for a 3.5 S38, but who knows? Intercooler. I was going to say similar to the B7 Turbo, but it's not. I guess a relocated washer tank. Oh. Yeah, I guess a relocated washer tank. I don't know why that is part of this kit. We got intercooler piping. We got our beginning of our exhaust. And we got our downpipe with our wastegate recirc right there. We got our wastegate, blow-off valve, intercooler piping. I believe this is pretty much everything needed to turbo the E28 M5, give or take maybe like some intermittent or intermediary like harnesses for the piggyback. I believe all the stuff, all the intercooler piping and all the fab stuff is here. Airbox is broken and missing the bottom, which sucks, but that being a Porsche part, probably can get it. Might be expensive. Don't know what I'm gonna do with this. This was a cool bundle that came in the car, in the trunk, and another reason why I wanted to buy the M5. There was a lot of goodies with that car, and that's kind of why it came to be. But I don't know, I would love to experience a turbo S38, but I know I've heard stories from friends that have delved into the period correct turbo kits, and the stories are never happy. They're always hassle and pain and just nightmare fuel. And there we have it. So that was a fun journey picking up these cars, and I'm really excited about them. Now I'm left with two more huge projects that I want to embark on. I mean, the E30, obviously, we will embark on that. It's just a matter of when. The question is, do I throw the turbo kit on this? That we have to figure out. And I want to hear from you guys. Do you think I should turbo this S38 using the Dynan kit? I'll probably modernize the electronics, go to a standalone, which will be some harness work and stuff like that. But to try to make that Dynan piggyback work is probably a nightmare. So you guys tell me in the comments, should I turbo the S38 E28 M5? Would that be worth it? Content-wise, would it be worth it? Financially, I don't know. I was probably just gonna sell this car, take the cool parts off it, but if I can make it really badass, I think I kind of want to. So you guys let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Which project are you more excited for? S38 E30, Turbo S38 M5. I can't wait to start them, as if I don't have a million other projects to do, but we will get to them. I promise we will get to them. I'm not gonna bail and sell these cars. I wanna build them, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.